Imagine life for a moment, a scene as serene as a placid lake, reflecting the sky in perfect stillness. Then, in what feels like the blink of an eye, this tranquility can be shattered. Life transforms into a swirling vortex of stress, chaos, and profound uncertainty. Believe it or not, this dramatic shift, this sudden upheaval, often represents the very essence of growth. It's a relentless, often unforgiving, series of unexpected challenges that hurl us headfirst into situations for which we feel completely, utterly unprepared. Yet, rising above this chaotic landscape, a fundamental question emerges, demanding our attention: can we maintain a steady mind amidst such turbulence? Is there a proven method, a reliable technique, to remain undisturbed, to preserve our inner peace, regardless of the turmoil swirling around us? The answer, thankfully, is a resounding and emphatic yes. Calmness, that sought-after state of being, is not some rare and elusive gift, reserved only for a select few fortunate individuals. Instead, it is a skill. More importantly, it is a habit, a mental discipline that can be cultivated and nurtured on a daily basis, much like any other valuable ability. It all commences with the crucial act of mastering our own minds. Marcus Aurelius, the renowned Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, once imparted timeless wisdom, stating, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Stoicism, far from merely suggesting this principle, insists that true tranquility is not about attempting to control the unpredictable world that surrounds us. Rather, it lies in mastering our own reactions, our emotional responses, to the inevitable events that life throws our way. Therefore, in this video, we will delve into practical, actionable strategies to train our minds. We will learn how to remain composed, how to maintain our equilibrium, even amidst life's most turbulent and challenging episodes. Because, ultimately, life is not about skillfully evading the curveballs that come hurtling towards us. Instead, it is about cultivating the ability to catch them, to gracefully handle them, and to throw them back with equal finesse and composure. It's about transforming challenges into opportunities for growth and resilience. Mastering your mind, truly understanding how to wield its power, is akin to the arduous process of learning to sail amidst tempestuous, unforgiving seas. It's fundamentally about skillfully steering your thoughts and emotions, guiding them with purpose and intent, rather than passively allowing them to dictate your every action and reaction. Consider, for instance, a scenario where you find yourself at a casual social gathering, immersed in light-hearted conversations and sharing moments of genuine laughter. The atmosphere is relaxed, the company enjoyable. Suddenly, unexpectedly, someone makes a sharp, perhaps even intentionally hurtful comment, directing it squarely at you. In such an unguarded moment, a moment where your defenses are down, your immediate, almost instinctive impulse might be to respond with equal sharpness, to meet fire with fire, to let the hurt and anger fuel your reaction. But this is precisely where the profound wisdom of the Stoics shines through, illuminating a different, more considered and ultimately more empowering path. Epictetus, the renowned Stoic philosopher, eloquently taught that we are not inherently upset or disturbed by things themselves, but rather by our subjective view, our individual interpretation, of those things. When someone's words, for example, feel like a stinging, venomous barb, it's crucial to recognize that it's not the mere utterance of those words that is causing the pain. Instead, it is our perception of them, our interpretation of their meaning and intent, that truly inflicts the wound. By actively and consciously changing our perception, by reframing our understanding, we can fundamentally shift the entire experience. Therefore, instead of reacting immediately with hurt or anger, instead of lashing out in retaliation, take a moment. Pause. Breathe deeply. In that brief, yet significant, pause, you seize a golden opportunity to gain control over your response, to wrest the reins of your emotions from the external stimulus. Ask yourself a series of crucial, introspective questions. Is this immediate reaction truly in line with the person I aspire to be? Is it genuinely beneficial to engage in a potentially volatile exchange, or would I be better served by simply allowing this comment to pass, to roll off me like water off a duck's back? This active control over your mind, this deliberate exercise of self-mastery, isn't merely about suppressing your initial, knee-jerk reactions. It's about consciously and deliberately deciding how you will allow external events, the actions and words of others, to affect you, to influence your internal state. It's about becoming the master of your own emotional domain, rather than a mere puppet dancing to the tune of external forces. Thus, through conscious effort and diligent practice, you can transform yourself into a resilient and self-aware individual, capable of navigating the storms of life with grace, equanimity, and unwavering inner strength. Consequently, you become the architect of your own emotional landscape, building a fortress of resilience against the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune. Choosing not to grant another person dominion over your emotions embodies a powerful act of self-determination. Instead of surrendering to reactivity, you consciously choose to retain control. First, you acknowledge the pain inflicted, validating your feelings without letting them dictate your actions. You then recognize the instinctive urge to retaliate, the natural human tendency to respond in kind. However, and this is crucial, you deliberately select a response that harmonizes with your deepest values and the tranquility you aspire to nurture within yourself. This essential practice lies at the very core of Stoic training, forming its fundamental bedrock. It commences with seemingly insignificant, everyday situations, such as casual remarks overheard at a social gathering or party. Over time, this training progressively extends to encompass more substantial and demanding challenges that life inevitably presents. Through consistent and dedicated practice, it becomes increasingly intuitive and effortless to respond with thoughtful deliberation and unwavering calmness. Marcus Aurelius, the renowned Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, profoundly emphasized this concept, considering it the genuine strength of the mind. This strength does not simply reside in passively accepting whatever transpires, but rather in actively controlling our emotional and behavioral responses. By exercising this control, we ensure that our reactions contribute positively to our overall well-being, rather than detracting from it or diminishing our inner peace. Therefore, embracing this Stoic approach fundamentally empowers you in all your interactions with the world and the individuals within it. You effectively transform your knee-jerk reactions into carefully considered responses, thereby maintaining a steadfast and tranquil mind, regardless of the turbulent storms that may rage around you. This is not merely about evading discomfort or shielding yourself from unpleasant experiences. It is about fostering personal growth and resilience through the myriad challenges and disturbances that we encounter on a daily basis. Remember, a calm and composed mind is not indicative of weakness, quite the contrary, it signifies strength, self-awareness, and profound influence. It is a powerful tool that enables us to purposefully craft the quality and direction of our lives, leading us towards greater fulfillment and enduring happiness. Ultimately, choosing calm is choosing power. It's incredibly easy to succumb to that sudden, overwhelming surge of anger when events don't unfold as we desire. Picture that intense wave of heat, almost palpable, that races through your very being when, say, someone abruptly cuts you off in traffic. In these emotionally charged moments, it feels almost second nature, an instinctive response, to unleash that pent-up anger. The feeling is that somehow, venting will magically rectify the situation or at the very least, alleviate the gnawing frustration. However, if we pause, take a moment to gather ourselves, and step back to gain a broader perspective, perhaps drawing inspiration from the profound wisdom of Stoicism, we quickly begin to realize that anger, more often than not, actually obscures our judgment rather than illuminating the path forward. Stoicism, that ancient philosophy, imparts to us a vital, crucial lesson regarding our emotions. It teaches us that they are fundamentally within our sphere of control. Anger, while undeniably a natural human reaction, a primal response to perceived threats or frustrations, should never be allowed to dictate our actions, to steer the ship of our behavior. Think about it, carefully consider the consequences. when raw anger seizes control, when it takes the wheel, what invariably follows? The answer is almost always regrettable. We see raised voices, sharp, hurtful words, and actions that we are likely to deeply regret later, when the heat of the moment has dissipated and cooler heads prevail. Stoics, such as the venerable Epictetus, fervently urged us not to react to provocations with immediate upset, with unbridled fury. Instead, they implored us to pause, to collect our thoughts, and to reflect on the situation with a calm and reasoned mind. He famously stated, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that truly matters." This transformative perspective radically shifts how we perceive and, crucially, how we respond to daily irritations and annoyances in our lives. Therefore, when someone does something that deliberately or inadvertently triggers your anger, such as making a negative comment, leveling an unfair accusation, or acting in a manner you deem unjust, it presents a golden opportunity, a chance to consciously practice this invaluable Stoic discipline. It is a chance to assert control over your emotions and choose a more rational, reasoned response. In essence, by consciously electing to refrain from reacting with fury, you are not, in any way, exhibiting vulnerability. Instead, you are demonstrating the ultimate mastery over the single entity you genuinely hold dominion over, your very self. This profound choice does not imply suppressing your emotions or feigning contentment when it is absent. Rather, it signifies that you fully recognize the presence of your anger, endeavor to comprehend the root causes that fuel its existence within you, and subsequently, consciously select a response that harmonizes with your overarching ambitions of tranquility and judicious thought. This deliberate practice of taming one's anger transcends the mere prevention of social discord or averting escalation during frustrating traffic encounters. It profoundly and positively impacts your enduring well-being and overall health. Unbridled anger, allowed to run rampant, has the potential to cultivate chronic stress, a debilitating condition that casts a shadow not only upon one's mental health but also inflicts tangible damage upon one's physical health. Consequently, by diligently and effectively managing our anger, we are not only shielding ourselves from potential external confrontations but also diligently safeguarding our internal state from the insidious clutches of turmoil. Therefore, the next time you find yourself teetering precariously on the precipice of an enraged reaction, call to mind the ancient wisdom of the Stoic philosophy. Inhale deeply, drawing the calming breath into your lungs. Deliberately count to 10, allowing the methodical cadence to ground you in the present moment. Carefully contemplate the potential ramifications of allowing your anger to detonate explosively, contrasting this with the alternative of channeling that potent energy constructively. By doing so, you empower yourself to navigate challenging situations with grace and resilience, safeguarding both your inner peace and your physical health. This mindful strategy possesses the remarkable ability to recast difficult interactions into opportunities for individual development and inner harmony. Frequently, a common misconception arises where we associate audibility and animosity with authority. Within the intense atmosphere of heated meetings or ardent debates, it may appear that the individual who vociferates the most intensely is assuming control. However, does this indeed represent authentic strength? Viewed through the prism of Stoicism, a disparate interpretation of influence emerges, one that exalts serenity as an authentic indication of robustness and guidance. Stoic philosophy, a school of thought embraced and employed by prominent leaders and philosophers ranging from Marcus Aurelius to Seneca, emphasizes that genuine control resides within the realm of the self. Consequently, in circumstances characterized by escalating tempers and mounting pressure, the individual capable of retaining equanimity is not merely exhibiting restraint, rather, they are demonstrating a profound command over the turmoil that captivates others. This self-governance is a talent refined through mindful application and a deep comprehension of one's own thoughts and responses. Therefore, let us examine a representative workplace situation, a meeting in which discussions initiate a shift towards acrimony and blame. The ability to remain calm and centered amidst such tension is a testament to one's inner strength. Stoicism provides us with the tools to navigate these challenging situations with grace and wisdom. It teaches us that our reactions are choices, and we have the power to choose calmness over anger, reason over emotion. In this way, we not only protect our own well-being but also contribute to a more productive and harmonious environment. By embracing this mindful approach, we can transform potentially destructive interactions into opportunities for growth and connection. This, in turn, allows us to cultivate a sense of peace and purpose, even in the face of adversity. Although the immediate urge might be to retaliate in the same vein, thereby intensifying the conflict, envision instead the power in opting for a serene demeanor. This tranquil composure transcends mere passivity, it represents a deliberate, strategic choice. It signifies an insightful recognition that by preventing external influences from disrupting your inner equilibrium, you effectively maintain control. This degree of self-possession can often disarm an adversarial individual and redirect the dialogue towards a more constructive and courteous exchange. Furthermore, adopting tranquility as a source of inner strength aids in cultivating resilience. Life, as we all know, will inevitably present us with obstacles. This is a reality that Stoics diligently prepare for. Their philosophy doesn't revolve around circumventing hardships, on the contrary, they fortify themselves with the mental endurance necessary to confront them directly. By consistently practicing calmness, you prepare yourself to endure life's tempests with dignity and poise. Where others might be thrown off balance by unforeseen difficulties, an individual well-versed in Stoic principles will adeptly adjust their sails, maintaining a steady course forward. Therefore, this concept of calmness extends beyond individual advantages, it significantly impacts those within our sphere of influence. When you exhibit a composed demeanor, it serves as an example, potentially encouraging others to adopt a similar approach in their own interactions and challenges. In essence, embracing calmness is not merely a passive retreat from conflict, it is an active, strategic engagement with life's challenges. It is about understanding that true strength lies not in reacting impulsively, but in responding thoughtfully and deliberately. It's about building a fortress of inner peace that can withstand the storms of life, and in doing so, inspiring those around us to do the same. This pursuit of tranquility, therefore, becomes a powerful tool for personal growth and positive influence, fostering a more harmonious and productive environment for everyone involved. The tranquility we possess holds the remarkable power to be infectious, possessing the ability to ignite inspiration and provide stability to those around us. Imagine, if you will, a moment of intense crisis or heightened tension. In such situations, the calm individual invariably emerges as a guiding light for others, offering a profound sense of security and much-needed clarity amidst the prevailing chaos. Therefore, this calmness not only elevates your standing as a dependable leader and a trustworthy member of your community, but it also significantly bolsters the collective capacity to effectively navigate adversity. The Stoic philosophy's perspective on calmness, viewing it as a genuine form of inner strength, goes far beyond merely maintaining composure for the sake of appearances. Instead, it is fundamentally about nurturing an internal sanctuary of serenity, a tranquil space that remains impervious to external turmoil. It's about more than simply enduring the inevitable battles life throws our way, it's about flourishing, emerging stronger and wiser, with unwavering dignity in the face of challenges. Undoubtedly, we all inevitably face moments when life seemingly presents us with an unjust hand. Picture this, a missed opportunity, a personal setback that strikes at your core, or even the disheartening sight of reward seemingly being bestowed upon those less deserving. These occurrences often ignite powerful feelings of injustice, even resentment. Consequently, this is precisely where Stoic wisdom truly shines, profoundly teaching us that while we may lack the power to dictate the inherent fairness of life, we possess complete control over our reactions to it. Therefore, cultivating this internal serenity is not merely about emotional suppression, it's about developing a resilient inner core that allows us to respond to life's inevitable ups and downs with grace, wisdom, and unwavering strength. This, in turn, enables us to not only weather the storms but also to emerge from them transformed, more resilient, and ultimately, more fulfilled individuals. Stoicism, as a philosophy, powerfully encourages us to redirect our attention, diverting it from the perceived inequalities of the external world towards cultivating internal resilience. Delve into the profound notion that external occurrences, in and of themselves, possess no inherent emotional content. The emotional weight they carry is, in essence, an attribution we personally assign. Therefore, our lived experience of life's apparent fairness or lack thereof is not some objective truth etched in stone, it is, rather, a subjective interpretation, filtered through our individual perceptions and beliefs. Eminent Stoic philosophers, such as Epictetus, would vehemently argue that it is not the events themselves that profoundly disturb us and disrupt our inner peace. Instead, it is the deeply held views and ingrained perspectives that we harbor concerning those events that cause us distress. Now, contemplate the intricate concept of fairness itself. It is, at its core, a human-constructed ideal, a social construct if you will, that frequently finds itself at odds with the harsh realities of the natural world or the unpredictable chaos that often characterizes human affairs. Acknowledging this fundamental truth can be incredibly liberating, freeing us from the shackles of unrealistic expectations. Instead of endlessly stewing over the perceived unfairness of a particular situation, a common human tendency, Stoicism extends a compelling invitation to earnestly question ourselves, prompting us to consider, what valuable lessons can I glean from this experience? How can I leverage this challenge to facilitate my own personal growth and development? This proactive and insightful mindset not only equips us to effectively handle disappointment and adversity with greater equanimity, but also actively propels us forward on a trajectory of continuous personal growth and the enhancement of our emotional intelligence. By consciously reframing our encounters with perceived unfairness as invaluable opportunities for development and self-improvement, we are no longer passive victims, helplessly tossed about by the whims of circumstance. Instead, we transform into active and empowered participants, consciously shaping our own destinies and navigating life's complexities with greater purpose and resolve. Thus, Stoicism provides a pathway to not only endure adversity, but to thrive in spite of it, harnessing challenges as catalysts for profound personal transformation. This does not imply that we passively condone injustice. On the contrary, we adopt a proactive position, actively searching for avenues to surmount obstacles and champion change wherever feasible. However, this must be done without allowing bitterness or anger to obscure our rational assessment. Furthermore, by deliberately distancing ourselves from the ultimate results of inequitable circumstances, we nurture a particular type of mental and emotional resilience. This fortitude proves impervious to the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, as Shakespeare so eloquently put it. This stoic resilience, therefore, is precisely what empowers us to endure hardships. It allows us to do so without forfeiting our tranquility of mind. We gradually begin to perceive life's challenges not as impediments designed to vanquish us. Instead, we see them as trials meticulously crafted to fortify us. Consequently, in wholeheartedly embracing this stoic methodology, we discover that life's inherent unfairness diminishes in significance over time. Our focal point undergoes a transformative shift. We move away from lamenting what we lack and toward cherishing what we possess. We learn to extract the utmost benefit from our current circumstances. In effect, we acquire a profound appreciation for our inherent ability to persevere, to persist despite adversity. Simultaneously, we learn to value our capacity to uphold our integrity and to maintain our inner equilibrium irrespective of external contingencies. Thus, the subsequent occasion you encounter a seemingly unjust situation, remember the profound Stoic doctrine. While you cannot exert control over every facet of existence, you retain absolute mastery over your reaction to it. This realization is exceptionally liberating. It is the foundation upon which genuine inner peace and strength are built. By focusing on our response, we reclaim our power. We transform adversity into an opportunity for growth and self-mastery. This perspective not only mitigates the sting of injustice but also equips us to navigate life's inevitable challenges with equanimity and wisdom. It is an active choice, a conscious decision to cultivate resilience and find meaning even in the face of apparent unfairness. It is a testament to the indomitable human spirit. It is precisely within this response that you unearth your true power and discover an enduring peace. This concept embodies the very essence of living stoically, transcending mere survival amidst life's inherent unfairness and blossoming into a state of thriving despite its challenges. In the tapestry of our daily existence, we frequently encounter circumstances that ignite intense emotions. It could manifest as a particularly stressful workday, a heated disagreement with a cherished loved one, or even a seemingly trivial inconvenience, such as being ensnared in a frustrating traffic jam. It is undeniably natural to perceive our emotions as mere reflexive reactions to these external stimuli, feeling as though they are uncontrollable and wholly inevitable. However, Stoicism, a venerable school of philosophy, imparts a truly revolutionary perspective regarding our emotional states. We possess the inherent capacity to govern them, rather than being governed by them. This profound idea, the ability to consciously choose how we respond to external events, is deeply embedded within the core tenets of Stoic philosophy. The Stoics, those ancient seekers of wisdom, firmly believed that while we may lack dominion over the external world that surrounds us, over the unpredictable actions of other individuals, or the myriad of unforeseen events that may befall us, we perpetually retain absolute control over our own internal responses. This empowering notion inherently suggests that relinquishing control is not merely an accidental occurrence that happens to us passively, rather, it is a deliberate decision we actively make, whether we are fully cognizant of it at the precise moment of choice or not. Thus, embracing Stoicism allows us to seize the reins of our emotional lives and navigate the turbulent waters of existence with greater resilience and serenity. Let us delve deeper into this fascinating concept. When an unfortunate event occurs, or an individual articulates something that distresses us, our immediate response invariably leans towards the emotional realm. This primordial reaction transpires instinctively, yet the subsequent course of action need not be predetermined. Stoicism, with its profound wisdom, beckons us to introduce a deliberate pause between the emergence of our initial sentiment and the execution of our consequential action. This temporal suspension is of paramount importance. It represents the juncture at which we possess the agency to consciously elect not to be overwhelmed by the surging tide of our emotions. We can, in this moment of clarity, pose a pertinent query to ourselves: does this particular reaction hold any utility? Does it, in any conceivable way, benefit me or contribute towards the attainment of my cherished goals? In the majority of instances, it is highly probable that the answer will be a resounding negation. Through the consistent and dedicated practice of this invaluable pause, we embark upon a transformative journey to cultivate a mental sanctuary, a space where genuine choices reside and flourish. This meticulously nurtured space empowers us to selectively orchestrate a response predicated upon the bedrock of wisdom and reason, as opposed to succumbing to the capricious whims of unbridled impulse. For instance, should an individual disrupt our train of thought in a discourteous manner during the course of a meeting, our innate inclination might be to retort sharply or to retreat into a state of sullen silence. However, armed with our Stoic mindset, diligently honed and refined, we can consciously opt to respond with equanimity and composure, perhaps by addressing the interruption with polite firmness or by skillfully redirecting the trajectory of the conversation back towards its intended course. This deliberate and thoughtful choice possesses the remarkable potential to not only alter the ultimate outcome of the entire meeting in a profound manner, but also to exert a substantial influence upon our own internal state of peace and tranquility. Therefore, cultivating this Stoic pause is not merely an exercise in self-control, it is a pathway to a more harmonious and fulfilling existence. By making conscious decisions rather than being controlled by knee-jerk reactions, we seize agency over our lives and cultivate inner peace. Furthermore, perceiving control as a deliberate choice allows us to cultivate a richer comprehension of our emotional landscape. We begin to discern recurring patterns in the stimuli that ignite our passions and the manners in which we subsequently respond. This enhanced self-awareness can, in turn, unlock more profound insights into the very core of our being, our cherished values, our deepest fears, and, crucially, how we can more effectively harmonize our reactions with our guiding principles. Therefore, it cultivates a deep sense of accountability. By acknowledging that we are the architects of our own emotional responses, we assume complete responsibility for them, a cornerstone indeed of both personal growth and unwavering integrity. Embracing this time-honored Stoic practice within the tapestry of your daily existence does not, by any stretch of the imagination, suggest that you will miraculously become immune to the pangs of anger, the sting of upset, or the frustrations that inevitably arise. Rather, it signifies that you will actively resist allowing these transient feelings to commandeer your actions and dictate your course. You will come to recognize, with unwavering clarity, that while emotions are undeniably an intrinsic and inseparable part of the human experience, the true measure of character resides in the skillful manner in which you choose to navigate and manage them. In essence, it is about exercising agency over your inner world. So, the subsequent instance you find yourself poised on the precipice of reacting impulsively, swept away by the tide of emotion, recall the enduring wisdom of Stoicism. Surrendering control is, fundamentally, a choice, a conscious decision we make, often unconsciously. Remember that you inherently possess the power to consciously choose calmness, serenity, and reason as your guiding lights. And, in actively exercising this power, you simultaneously choose to cultivate a life that is significantly less perturbed and buffeted by the external chaos and turmoil that inevitably surrounds us. Consequently, you gain an immense sense of peace and equanimity. This proactive approach allows you to navigate the complexities of life with greater resilience and a profound sense of inner harmony, which is truly invaluable. It is remarkably easy to succumb to the temptation of fixating on past errors or agonizing over what the future holds. This internal conflict, this mental tug-of-war, does more than merely diminish our current state of happiness. It actively hinders our ability to fully inhabit the present moment, the sole realm where we possess the genuine capacity to effect change. Stoicism, a venerable philosophy that underscores the paramount significance of existing within the present, furnishes a powerful antidote to this widespread human predicament. Marcus Aurelius, the esteemed Roman emperor and philosopher, famously observed that our existence is confined solely to the present moment. Yet, a considerable number of us allow the present to elude our grasp, becoming entangled in the web of past regrets or future anxieties. Aurelius fervently championed a concentrated focus on the here and now, postulating that this is the very locus of our true power. Consequently, by grounding ourselves firmly in the present, we liberate ourselves from the encumbering weight of past failures and the undue apprehension surrounding future uncertainties. Reflect upon the considerable energy we dissipate when we perpetually dwell on an embarrassing or painful event that transpired in the past. These memories, while undeniably integral components of our personal narrative, do not, in and of themselves, define our current selves, unless we consciously permit them to do so. The past has already unfolded, its course irrevocably set. Therefore, obsessing over it serves only to divert precious energy away from the present, energy that could be channeled into constructive action and the creation of a more fulfilling existence. Similarly, undue worry about the future, a future that remains unwritten and subject to countless variables, can paralyze us in the present, preventing us from taking the very steps necessary to shape a more desirable outcome. To truly embrace life and harness our potential, we must learn to liberate ourselves from the shackles of the past and the anxieties of the future, and instead, wholeheartedly embrace the transformative power of the present moment. In a similar vein, when we find ourselves excessively worrying about what the future holds, we are, in essence, borrowing trouble from a future that is far from guaranteed. Such anxiety, much like dwelling on past regrets, distracts us significantly from taking meaningful action in the present moment. This is the very moment where we possess the power to actually affect real change and influence our circumstances. Stoicism, the ancient philosophy, elegantly teaches us the profound wisdom of accepting the past, acknowledging its lessons, and then consciously letting it go. Furthermore, it earnestly encourages us to face the uncertainties of the future with unwavering courage, but also, crucially, without unhealthy attachment to specific outcomes. Now, this should not be misinterpreted to mean that we should completely disregard learning valuable lessons from past experiences, nor that we should abandon all planning for the future. Instead, it suggests that we should engage in these activities in a balanced and mindful way, ensuring that they do not, in any way, compromise our current sense of well-being or our ability to live fully in the now. By intentionally focusing our attention and energy on the present moment, we actively engage fully with the richness of our lives. Consequently, we can make decisions and take actions that are thoughtful, deliberate, and grounded in the present reality, rather than being driven by reactive impulses rooted in fear or past experiences. Practicing mindfulness is a highly effective way to cultivate this core Stoic ideal. Mindfulness, at its heart, involves paying undivided attention to the present moment, experiencing it fully and without any judgment. It necessitates noticing your thoughts, your feelings, and the intricate details of the world around you, and accepting all of these elements without feeling the need to immediately change or control them. This consistent practice can be incredibly helpful in breaking the detrimental cycle of regret and anxiety that so often plagues our minds. By anchoring you firmly in the reality of the present, mindfulness fosters a sense of calm and allows you to approach life with greater clarity and resilience. Thus, it is a powerful tool for cultivating a more stoic and fulfilling existence. Another incredibly valuable Stoic exercise involves daily reflection. Specifically, contemplate what lies within your sphere of influence and what remains beyond your grasp. This practice serves as a powerful tool to ground your energies and attention, focusing them squarely on your actions and attitudes. These elements, of course, are firmly anchored in the now, the present moment. When you consciously direct your focus towards these controllable aspects, you are, in fact, significantly more likely to affect meaningful and impactful changes. These changes will resonate within your immediate surroundings, and perhaps more importantly, within your own state of mind. Consequently, this process enhances both your overall effectiveness in navigating life's challenges and your inherent sense of personal satisfaction. Therefore, by actively embracing the Stoic principle of living fully in the present moment, you essentially liberate yourself. You unshackle yourself from the burdensome chains of past regrets, those lingering what-ifs that haunt us, and the anxieties surrounding future worries, the what might be's that plague our thoughts. This newfound freedom is absolutely essential, a cornerstone in the pursuit of tranquility and sustained effectiveness in our day-to-day existence. Moreover, it empowers us to truly cherish each fleeting moment, to recognize opportunities as they gracefully arise, and to drastically reduce the emotional clutter that so often clouds our judgment and insidiously saps our precious energy. Remember this fundamental truth: the past is immutable, etched in stone and unchangeable. The future remains veiled in uncertainty, its path yet unwritten, but the present, this very moment, is entirely yours to mold, to shape, to define. Embrace this present moment with both hands, with unwavering enthusiasm, and allow the profound wisdom of Stoicism to guide you towards a richer, more fulfilling, and undeniably more present life. It's a common, yet profoundly incorrect, misconception that our external environment dictates our inner sense of peace and calm. This is simply not the case. True peace comes from within, from mastering ourselves. Be that as it may, the profound truth, intricately woven into the fabric of Stoic philosophy, proposes a contrasting perspective: genuine tranquility originates from within one's own being. This intrinsic serenity is not subject to the capricious fluctuations of everyday existence. On the contrary, it endures as a steadfast and guiding influence amidst the tumultuous currents of the external realm. Stoicism, with its timeless wisdom, imparts the understanding that our personal responses to events are the wellspring of our inner turmoil, rather than the events themselves acting as the primary cause. This is an exceedingly potent revelation, as it effectively restores control to our own capable hands. Envision, if you will, confronting a sudden and unwelcome setback in your professional life. Perhaps a cherished project abruptly collapses, or a critical business transaction fails to materialize as anticipated. Your immediate, instinctual reaction might understandably be to succumb to panic or to allow feelings of intense frustration to completely overwhelm you. However, should you diligently cultivate inner calmness as a habitual practice, your subsequent response would be demonstrably and significantly different. You would possess the remarkable ability to consciously take a deliberate step backward, objectively assess the totality of the situation in a logical and dispassionate manner, and methodically determine your next strategic actions without the obscuring influence of emotional upheaval. This refined and balanced approach is decidedly not about suppressing your legitimate emotions or engaging in the act of pretending that everything is proceeding smoothly when, in reality, it is not. Instead, it involves the practice of candidly acknowledging the existence of your emotions without, critically, permitting them to exert undue dominance and control over your rational thought processes. Thus, you are empowered to navigate life's inevitable challenges with greater resilience and clarity. By cultivating a tranquil internal atmosphere, you become significantly more adept at confronting external adversities. Imagine it as the very heart of a hurricane. Whilst chaos rages around you, the epicenter perseveres in undisturbed serenity and unwavering stability. Developing this degree of inner composure necessitates both diligent practice and steadfast patience. The journey commences with routine mindfulness exercises, such as the ancient art of meditation, which guides you toward a heightened awareness of your innermost thoughts and deepest emotions. These practices do not seek to alter the nature of your feelings, rather, they aim to transform your reactions to them. Consequently, over the passage of time, these brief moments of mindful awareness coalesce to form a solid bedrock of calmness, capable of offering sustained support throughout life's inevitable trials and tribulations. Furthermore, the profound insights gleaned from Stoic philosophical reflections can prove exceptionally beneficial. Contemplating the boundaries of your influence, what lies within your power to change, and what remains intrinsically beyond your grasp, assists in channeling your energies into productive avenues. When you come to the profound realization that a considerable portion of your worries pertain to matters that exist entirely outside your sphere of control, you can initiate the process of relinquishing unnecessary stress and anxiety. This epiphany is not merely a source of solace, it is a pathway to liberation. It unlocks valuable mental space and untapped energy reserves, which you can subsequently dedicate to actions and thoughts that genuinely enrich your existence and contribute significantly to your enduring peace of mind. Thus, by embracing both mindful awareness and Stoic wisdom, you can forge an inner sanctuary that shields you from the storms of life and empowers you to navigate them with grace and resilience. Adopting the concept that inner serenity resides within you fundamentally alters your approach to finding tranquility. Consequently, you cease the external search for peace and contentment. It implies that a vacation, a novel career, or a shift in your present circumstances are not prerequisites for attaining a tranquil state of mind. Instead, the key lies in accessing the inherent calmness that already exists deep within you. Now, this is not to suggest that external influences are inconsequential to our emotional state. Undeniably, they exert an impact. Nevertheless, it underscores our inherent capacity to preserve our composure and maintain mental clarity, irrespective of the prevailing circumstances. We all inevitably encounter situations that possess the potential to mold our identities, should we permit them to do so. This may involve being born into adversity, confronting personal hurdles, or experiencing significant setbacks. It's undeniably enticing to believe that these external conditions are the defining elements of our being. However, Stoicism presents a compelling counter-narrative, asserting that you are not merely a product of your circumstances. On the contrary, your essence is shaped by your reactions and responses to them. This fundamental Stoic principle empowers us to assume control over our own life story, allowing us to consciously choose resilience and fortitude over succumbing to resignation. Within the philosophical framework of Stoicism, there exists a significant emphasis on directing our attention and energy toward elements within our sphere of influence. These controllable aspects include our reactions, attitudes, and actions. Simultaneously, we are encouraged to relinquish our preoccupation with elements beyond our control, which frequently encompass the external situations and unforeseen challenges that life presents to us. Therefore, by accepting this dichotomy, we can foster inner peace and navigate life's complexities with greater equanimity. By focusing on what we can directly influence, we reclaim our power and cultivate a sense of calm amidst the inevitable storms of existence. Epictetus, the celebrated Stoic philosopher, wisely observed that it is not the happenings themselves that agitate us, but rather our own understanding of those happenings. Embracing this powerful philosophy allows one to view life's inevitable tribulations not as insurmountable obstacles, but as invaluable opportunities to showcase one's inner fortitude, unwavering perseverance, and unshakable integrity. To truly grasp the significance of this concept, let us consider the poignant narrative of a young person, born perhaps into a milieu of profound difficulty. Picture a community, for instance, where opportunities are sadly limited and challenges seem to multiply at every turn. Society, in its often simplistic judgment, might quickly categorize this individual as disadvantaged, perhaps even predicting a future of failure and despair. However, by wholeheartedly embracing Stoic wisdom, we actively reject this predetermined, and often inaccurate, narrative. It necessitates a profound recognition that while we may not have the privilege of selecting our initial circumstances in life, we most certainly possess the power to chart our own course forward. This realization is incredibly empowering. Cultivating this transformative perspective begins with the diligent practice of daily reflection and positive affirmation. Take time each day to thoughtfully reflect on specific instances where you responded to daunting challenges with remarkable strength and resilience. Then, carefully consider how these very responses, born of your own inner resources, have profoundly shaped you, perhaps even more so than the challenges themselves. Moreover, regularly affirming your innate ability to consciously choose your response to external events serves to powerfully reinforce your independence from the often limiting constraints of your surrounding circumstances. This conscious choice, this recognition of your own agency, is the very essence of Stoic philosophy and the key to a life of purpose and fulfillment. Therefore, by embracing this proactive approach, you transform from a passive victim of circumstance into an active architect of your own destiny, facing the world with courage and unwavering determination. This, in turn, allows you to not only navigate life's inevitable storms but to emerge from them stronger, wiser, and more deeply connected to your own inner strength. This mental habit, a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy, profoundly alters your perspective. Instead of fixating on external events, it shifts your attention inward, toward your reaction to those events. This fundamental change gradually nurtures a self-concept rooted in resilience and autonomy. You begin to see yourself not as a victim of circumstance, but as a person capable of navigating challenges with strength and independence. Moreover, embracing this Stoic approach fosters a remarkable form of mental and emotional agility. By continuously adapting to varying situations, without allowing them to dictate your sense of self-worth or ambitions, you cultivate a dynamic self-awareness. This sense of self is always evolving, always learning, and perpetually open to new possibilities. Therefore, this adaptability is absolutely crucial in today's relentlessly fast-paced world, a world where the ability to recover swiftly and move forward with determination, despite inevitable setbacks, is truly invaluable. It's a skill that empowers you to thrive amidst uncertainty. Practically speaking, implementing this Stoic principle translates into taking decisive action guided by your deepest values and most cherished goals, regardless of the prevailing environment. Essentially, it means consistently striving for excellence, no matter what your current situation might imply about your ultimate potential. Every small step taken in defiance of limiting or restrictive circumstances vividly affirms your innate capacity to define your own life. You are, in effect, declaring your autonomy. The core Stoic teaching, that we should not allow external circumstances to define us, is certainly not about denying their influence or impact. Rather, it's about asserting a more potent and persistent influence, the influence of our consciously chosen responses. It's about acknowledging reality while simultaneously maintaining control over our inner world, our emotions, and our actions. Thus, Stoicism offers a powerful framework for navigating life's challenges with grace, resilience, and a profound sense of inner peace. It's a path toward becoming the architect of your own destiny. This philosophy, indeed, does more than simply assist us in coping with the vagaries of life. It profoundly transforms the very manner in which we interact with it. It imparts a crucial lesson, teaching each of us that regardless of the external circumstances that may buffet us, the genuine yardstick of our existence resides in the internal fortitude we diligently cultivate and the personal evolution we purposefully achieve. Thus, it is through inner strength and growth that we truly define ourselves. Thank you most sincerely for embarking on this enlightening journey with me today and for being an invaluable part of your presence and participation are deeply appreciated. Remember, and this is a critical point to internalize, that every single challenge you encounter, every obstacle you face, presents a unique and invaluable opportunity to apply Stoic wisdom in a practical, meaningful way. Therefore, consider each difficulty a chance to learn and grow. Consequently, through the conscious application of Stoic principles, you possess the power to fundamentally transform your life, starting from within. This internal transformation is the key to lasting happiness and resilience. Do not, under any circumstances, forget to explore the suggested video that now graces your screen. It offers further, profound insights into the art of living a more deeply fulfilled and resilient existence. The video builds upon the ideas we discussed. Together, as a community, let us resolutely continue to grow, to embrace change with open arms and unwavering hearts, and to live each and every day with unwavering intention and purpose. Let's strive to live lives guided by reason and virtue. Let's make each moment count. In conclusion, let us all actively pursue a life of meaning and purpose, grounded in Stoic principles.